Hi, thanks for joining me today. Are there difficulties with how your partner prioritises either their child or you in your relationship? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and I'll let you know every time I post. Does your partner have difficulty working out the priorities between their child and you, their partner? This position is often called the pivotal parent because they are the parent of your stepchild and also have a relationship with you. And it's about trying to sort out where the priorities should be. Because when you have a child, the couple's priorities often turn to the child, and the parent parents their child, wanting them to have all the best things in life and give them the best start and spend time with them and bring them up. And when that couple separate and they re-partner to you, the step-parent, you haven't entered into this relationship to give priority to that child. You've entered the relationship because you want to have a relationship with that child's parent. But the parent can assume that you're going to prioritise the child just like they do and share in the parenting just like they want you to. And indeed, they can even go a stage further and ask you to love their child just like they do. But this can become problematic. The parent can often not want to take the child to task because they want the child to have a lovely time when they visit. They're fearful that the child may not want to visit. They may feel guilty about the past and the way that their first relationship broke up and don't want to give the child anything negative at all. Or they may be fearful that their ex-partner may keep the child away from them, or indeed the ex-partner may be also telling the child that they don't have to behave in your home or towards you particularly well. They might be being given permission to misbehave. The child can be allowed to split you and cause arguments, and this can and does cause relationships to break down. The child needn't behave particularly well, especially to somebody like you who doesn't have parenting authority. You're not their parent. And when the parent is privileging them, they don't need to accommodate you in any way. So the relationship can become strained. The child can misbehave and not be pulled up for it. They can ignore you or disregard you or disrespect you. And this can become hugely problematic in your home. But often the parent can say, well, couldn't you make a little bit more effort? If you built your relationship with the child, everything will be all right. Especially as you weren't really expecting it. You weren't, when you formed the relationship with this child's parent, expecting to have this kind of arrangement to negotiate. Even though the parent can say, well, you knew I had children, you knew it was going to be like this, but you didn't. So where you're trying to get to with this is come to an arrangement with your partner where you can co-parent in the household together. And for this, your partner needs to give you, in some way, some kind of authority to do this, because you are not the actual parent. You are given the authority by your partner, the parent. And for this, the parent and you just need to discuss all the detail and the little stuff, the stuff that's going slightly wrong, and how you would like to address it in the future, how it can be different. And then, once you've agreed on that, then you and they should be as one when something happens or goes wrong, and you or they can say to the child, "Excuse me, what did you mean by that?" Or "That's not okay," or "Shall we do that again but do it differently?" Just ever so gently to bring the child up to know that actually they can't misbehave in your home or split you. You've got to be working towards working together. The parent can see this as being nothing to do with them sometimes. They can sort of see that it's, well, you're the adult, the step-parent, you should be making more effort to build a relationship with the child. But actually, it does take the parent, even if they don't voice it, even if they don't make a scene about it, best not to even, but if they've got to intimate or behave like or treat you as though you do have the authority, and the child needs to respond to that. You can't really build the relationship with the child without their parents' acknowledgement that that is what needs to happen. Now, it can be that the parent of your stepchild is not prepared to do that. They are really not going to address it with the child at all, and the child is going to, as far as they're concerned, take top priority over you. Now, if this happens, the best situation for you to do is to remove yourself or give yourself a little bit of distance. Don't get drawn into arguments with your partner about this, definitely not in front of the child, so that the child can see that they're the top priority and just can split you more. It's best to withdraw to a place where you can maybe have a bit more of an independent life, not be around so much when the child is around, let the parent parent their child, but you keep your self-esteem intact and your self-respect. You have your own interests. You treat the situation as it is, which is that the parent is prioritising their child and you are not going to get drawn into that triangle. Instead of which, you hold yourself apart and you lead an independent life, albeit with your partner going forward. And you can more than cope with this arrangement. This is the way it is, and that's the way it is going forwards. There are lots of step families which exist thinking that they are two families living under one roof rather than one united or blended family. So this is possible, but it is worth keeping that objective of being co-parents in mind, because as life changes and the children grow, become teenagers, become adults, become parents themselves, what you're aiming for still is to you and your partner to be co-parents in this situation. And while the child is incredibly important, and of course children need to be accommodated and they have needs and all these other things that growing up, even if for the time being the parent wants to do all the parenting and you be separated from that, it may come together later. So deal with this soon, address it the moment it becomes an issue. Try and work with your partner towards a co-parenting arrangement in your home with their backing. If that's not possible, separate yourself out and live a more independent life, albeit with your partner, but avoid getting into arguments with your partner about it because the child just splits you. Best to work with the situation as it is. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. Do look at the description box below for links to our social media and website.